And then later on, God told me to do
Why
a
did it go way
video
back there?
about it. But you don't need. This has an evil agenda behind it. Like I said, it's not exist any climate change. And let's see when Greta Thunberg is. I think it's a hidden camera, and one person says that brings up her diagnosis that she's mentally ill, you know, like she has said herself. We can see that clip first.
I fell into depression.
Look at it, it said Stockholm, because they want you to have Stockholm syndrome,
and I stopped
right?
eating. In 2 months, I lost about 10 kilos of weight.
Now, she was suffering from depression. Mind you, she's a fraud. She's one of the people in this PSYOP, right? She's a fraud, right? And they've already diagnosed her with what? Autism, Asperger's. That was the one I was looking for. Autism, Asperger's syndrome, selective mutism. That's what we're going to get to. Matter of fact,
Later on, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, OCD, and selective mutism.
That it's appropriate to have a child who...
You see the banana, the mockery, and all of this shit.
Exploiting it in such a way.
All of this is for the PSYOP.
Taking her around the country, sort of, whoever gives you a Tesla, do you think that that's appropriate when you've talked about Greta's mental illness?
I have a mental illness.
You don't have severe autism? That's sort of was the... So you think that it's completely acceptable to be bringing a 16-year-old across the country?
I brought him, actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
look at what he asks her. Do you think it's acceptable? If she doesn't think it's acceptable, would that mean autism? Now, remember, she said she had Asperger's. Now, selective mutism. So first, selective mutism is an anxiety disorder where a person is unable to speak in certain social situations, such as with classmates at school or the relatives they do not see very often. What is the difference between being unable to and just not speaking? Like if I say, I don't want to speak to you because I'm disgusted in you, and you just start talking to me and I just look at you, are you going to say I'm unable to speak, or is it just I don't want to speak to you? Who decides that they are unable to? Like right now, I don't want to speak to Dr. Gengar, right? I will not sit there and go, right? If she started talking to me, I would just look at her like she's retarded, right? If I had to speak to a therapist, I don't trust you. I don't want to speak to you. I would sit there and not talk to you. I would choose to not talk to you, right? That would be the selective part. So if it's an anxiety disorder where you are unable to, you're not selecting to. Or are they saying that selective as in your brain is automatically selecting situations where you don't want to speak to people? Or where you can't speak to people, like your brain is just shutting down? Which one? I would say that would be involuntary mutism instead of selective mutism. You see, and it usually starts during childhood, and if left untreated can persist into that's every single fucking mental disorder. I promise you. It usually starts during childhood, and if left untreated, it can persist into adulthood. That way, if you have it, like, right, if they want to sit there and tell you when you're 40 years old, if you don't want to talk to somebody, it might have happened during your childhood and just finally manifested. That's every single bullshit mental disorder. Now, you do it right here. I don't even know how to spell that shit. I think it's ASPER. Asperger's. See, I was right. To effectively socialize and communicate. Right? I have the ability to fucking communicate, but who is basing this? Who is the standard for effective communication? They will never be able to give you this. Same thing when I say, who is the standard of mental health to say that you are a perfectly normal person and you have autism, you have a mental illness, you're overthinking, who's underthinking, who's thinking at the proper level? Nobody can tell you that. You see, if your doctor's retarded and you're smarter than them, is your doctor then qualified to tell you that you're overthinking? No, if your doctor has a mental disorder, right? That's like you having an autistic doctor, and they go, "Oh, you're autistic." What? Are you the standard? Oh, your doctor suffers from depression. She's popping all of these pills, right? She's taking Adderall, but you have a mental illness. That doesn't make sense. I'm telling you. And you see the question that he asked her, right? When he asked her, "Oh, so you think it's okay for a 16-year-old?" Why are you asking her that question? If that's the case.
Herself. We can see that clip first.
I fell into depression. I stopped talking and I stopped eating.
Right? She's considering that a symptom, right? In her case, that would be involuntary mutism, where because of her depression, she did, right? There's no reason for it. That's what that means. There's no reason. It's not like, okay, you're just lying. I'm telling you. It's not like, okay, you're just lying and I don't want to speak to you. I'm telling you, they have a fucking mental health issue for every fucking solution you could think of. I'm telling you, for every social situation, they have a mental illness prepared for you not complying with their standard of society. Not because you actually have a mental illness. They don't know how to really diagnose a mental illness based on any fucking chemicals. They haven't given me proof. Like if I go to court, I would say, give me proof. Give me the proof. And show me exactly what you did. Show me in my brain structure where it's going wrong. Give me the proof. I want to see that, right? I need to see that it's coming from my brain. I need to see exactly that. I don't want you to go back in the lab and then pull out some random, right? Because that's what they could do. You could go in the lab, pull out some random results and be like, oh yeah, this is your brain. Nah, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to sit there, take me directly to the machine and do it live. Oh no, you don't need 30, right? If you sit there, you drew the blood. Oh, we drew the blood and we brought up the whole chemicals in your brain based on the blood. That's a lie. You can't tell the serotonin based on that. But I'm telling you, they have a mental disorder for every solution. Just like they have a fucking problem for every solution. You see? Autism was the whole social situation thing. Now you got Asperger's. Now you got Asperger's syndrome, right? Then we gonna go to autism. Neurodevelopmental condition of variable severity with lifelong effects that can be recognized from early childhood, chiefly characterized by difficulties with social interaction. So autism and Asperger's are the same damn thing. Right? Difficulties with social interaction and communication and by restricted or repetitive patterns of thought and behavior. So you have a fucking routine. That it doesn't make sense. Like, I promise you, the system is full of shit. I'm telling you. And doctors even say it. Doctors have tried to come out and say it like, yeah, they got this whole book full of fucking medical terms for mental illness and mental disorders that they just made up. And eventually I'm going to show you the video. So this is why we're going to trial. I know they're going to try to hit me with all these shits. Right? I can tell you now, I don't have any of these. I'm not depressed or anything. I'm freaking frustrated, but I ain't depressed. Right? I'm telling you, eventually they're going to be like, oh, frustration is a side effect of depression. That's how they have to do it. I can go, no, the frustration is a side effect of the organized mobbing and gang stalking. Right? So if you have a pattern, right? If you have a pattern where every single day you come outside and everybody's following this pattern of putting the one eye, y'all all have autism. Right? Is that not right? You have autism. You can't come around me without coughing and being weird. You have autism. Right? Because you can't communicate properly. And you have repetitive patterns of thought and behavior. Y'all all have a hive mind. Y'all all will have repetitive patterns of thought and behavior. So y'all all have autism. And it's lifelong. A lot of y'all have been groomed since childhood. Isn't that interesting? That's why all your kids now, right? They get it from you. You think your kid is depressed? Yeah, they got it from you. That's why they send kids after people to go and organize mob and harass them and gang stalk them. Yeah, because you were doing that as a kid. You were taught that as a kid. It's ingrained in you. You're groomed and you don't even realize because you got like a split personality disorder. See, you have a neurodevelopmental disorder. You have a neurodevelopmental condition. Right? Now, autism, it can be recognized from early childhood by difficulties with social interaction and communication. I was good in school. I had plenty of social interactions. It didn't happen, right? I was communicating even in the army. So did the army cause this? Right? If you're going to tell me I have autism, right? Just like they trying to push this whole mental illness thing since Ryan Fat wanted to try to take away my ARD, right? On the grounds of I have a mental illness, right? Were you're able to detect this from childhood? It seemed to only happen after they started holding my paperwork from the military. So that's not from early childhood. And I really don't have these problems. Like, how you see how I go to work? Oh, you have no problem interacting. They tell me I'm good at my job. I have no problem sitting down and telling you, like, yo, you're harassing me. Right? I went to them. Right? I was able to socialize. You hear me still talking to the other. This is why I record everything. You see? But I'm just showing you an example of how they bullshit you. You see autism. Let's go back to Asperger's. Right? Developmental disorder affecting the ability to effectively socialize and communicate. Right? So now, here's how, right? Now you can function higher. That doesn't make sense. You see, this is what I mean by they have a problem for every solution. You don't have autism. Oh, because you can function. Oh, you just on a higher spectrum where you could still function and you have a problem communicating. Nah, I don't got a problem communicating. I communicated to the police. They have a problem showing the evidence. Right? When they was harassing me, I communicated to them, yo, nah, this is organized mobbing and harassment. This is it. Oh, you being vague. Now I give you a whole list. You don't want to look at the list. I don't have a problem communicating. I don't got a problem socializing. See, I don't have a problem walking up to a cop and telling him about the organized mobbing and harassment. I don't have a problem walking up to the fire department man. Yo, the fire people, you got to tell them to stop harassing people. That's socializing, isn't it? I'm communicating, right? Now, when you're pathologically lying, you have Asperger's syndrome. That would be Z Hung, right? Where he has a developmental disorder affecting his ability to effectively socialize and communicate. He can't because he minces words too much. He's retarded. He has autism and Asperger's syndrome. The problem is the system is on his side. You see? I'm telling you, they're going to try to put this onto me, and I'm going to show you how we flip it back on people. They're going to try to put it onto me, and I'm going to show you how all the people who come to me with the bullshit, unless they just go, oh, we're not going to let him speak at all, just lock him up. Unless we do that, unless they just do that and just try to lie to get out of it. If we going based on the truth, I could easily take the truth and show them. Same way I could do it with Z Hung, I'm going to do it in the trial. Because you're going to see they exist, maybe. And I don't even, honestly, I think society creates these people with autism and Asperger's. Because, right, in order to be in society, there has to be a standard. What is the standard of effectively socializing, right? That's like saying, oh, you're an introvert and you don't like talking. You have a problem with effectively communicating. So what's the point of having this differentiation between introversion and extroversion, right? You're more outgoing. One person is more outgoing. An introvert is less outgoing, right? Or how they say, right? An introvert doesn't want to talk to everybody. Oh, an introvert has selective mutism because you're an introvert. So the only way to not be an introvert and to not is to then you're forced to be an extrovert at that point. You're forced to be like a social butterfly. Not everybody's a fucking social butterfly. This is what I'm saying. This doesn't make sense. That means introverts they're gonna try to tell you introverts have Asperger's syndrome if I say some shit like that. Right? Oh, because they can still function, they just don't want to talk to you. They got Asperger's syndrome. They don't want to socialize. They don't want to go to the parties and stuff, to these social gatherings. No, I'm just a fucking introvert. You see? No, hold on, let me see if they change the definition, because they be changing definition to these words. Hold up. Wow. I don't like public speaking. So, and you see what I'm saying? This is why I look up the definition. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm an introvert and don't like public speaking. If you put me on the stage and I'm an introvert and I don't like public speaking, I don't want to speak. Simple. It's not selective mutism. I don't want to speak. Right? I go to work. I really don't want to talk to y'all. We don't got shit to talk about other than work. But all right, I still socialize with the people who come around me. Do I not? See, so you can't say I have autism or I have Asperger's, because no, I'm perfectly fine. The problem is you're coughing and organized mobbing me. That is not a social problem on my end. That is a social problem on society's end. Right? You can't come around me without being weird and like doing your fake cough, without adhering to your script. You have a social problem unless you're gonna admit that that's what happens in society. That would be like Dr. Gengar saying, "Oh, you can't handle life because I don't want to be organized, mobbed, and harassed." That wouldn't be like her saying, "No, society organized mobs and harass people all the time. You just can't handle the reality." Because that's reality. The reality would be that no, they've always been doing this, and you're the one out of the loop. You see. Mind you, like I said, I have a recorded saying it. You know I do. I've showed it on Facebook already. So this is why I say you got to be careful with all of these words that they try to throw at you, all of the definitions that they try to like understand the words that they're trying to say. We're going to go to reticent. I usually just share it, but inclined to be silent or uncommunicative in speech. Reserved. I can't, right? You can't be reserved. You can't be selectively reserved, right? This is why I say, if you're being reserved, that means you are selecting to be reserved, right? They should change the definition to involuntary mutism for selective mutism, right? If you don't have anxiety and you just don't want to talk, like, I don't want to talk to Z-Hung. Next time he comes, we won't speak. I could just look at him and just walk out, right? That is not, selective mutism, where my anxiety is just, you a lying ass motherfucker. It's no use talking to your dumb ass. None of your friends. I really don't want to talk to the judge. I don't. Because I know he's going to be lying to me. He's going to be trying to gaslight me. I don't want to go. If I just sit in trial and I don't want to talk, it's not that I can't talk in social situations. Right? If I know the judge is gaslighting me and I just look at him, and I just sit there looking at him, you know what the judge is going to say? Oh, you got selective mutism. We asked you a question and you didn't answer. Because I looked at you and your response was just so preposterous that I was in shock and awe at your retardation and I had no words. Right? I have to have words for every single, but then they'll tell you some shit like, sometimes silence is the answer. Silence is golden. You see how they gaslight you? Bro, I'm too good at this shit, bro. I'm too good at this shit. Let me stop. Oh, wait. Just like how I say I'm too good at this, that's like when they deleted the conversation of me and Cuzzo And he was like, yo, you're perfect for this. When I broke down what was it, what depression and stuff was. Right? When I was breaking down words for him, like ascend and descend, when I was breaking down the words, he was like, yo, you're perfect for this. He was talking about the social experiment. Oh, goddamn. See, now at trial, we gotta get everything. I need all that. This is why we gotta have 2 trials, because I know they're gonna try to bullshit me on the first one. Cool. And I know they're gonna try to bullshit me on the second one. But I know God got my back. I know it. I know it. This is why he's teaching me these things little by little. I hate that this camera thing just fucking flips when the way it wants to. I wish you could just turn off auto rotate for the camera. I don't know how to do that shit. Maybe you can. I don't know how to do it. But let me stop this video. I just wanted to show you that, like, the words that they use is just, it's crazy. It's crazy.